Good morning, St. Joan of Arc. And it is indeed a pleasure to welcome you here wherever you are on your journey this morning. So in this season of ordinary time before the juggernaut of Lent lands, we hear the stories of ordinary people saying yes to extraordinary things. People who respond to the invitation of Jesus the Christ to see and be another way in the world. And they didn't know where it would lead, but they went with joy, with resolution. This morning we hear they were amazed. So it must have been a truly incredible time. They said yes. And so this morning we welcome our guest speaker, Tane Danger, who has made a life out of saying yes. Tane is the director of the Westminster Town Hall Forum, which many of you know, and co-founder of the nationally known improv comedy show, The Theater of Public Policy, which was described by CNN as akin to C-SPAN being swarmed by the cast of Saturday Night Live. Tane has lived his life according to the cardinal rule of improvisation, which is to welcome anything that comes at you with yes and. Tane will share his journey with us, his message of yes, and I am thrilled to welcome Tane Danger. Yay! Thank you so much.
Okay, this is great.
Here we
All
go.
right, here we go.
Here we go.
Hi, everybody. This is very cool. So I said this at the 9 o'clock, but my father's a Lutheran minister, so it's very weird to be in a Catholic space for me, but I'm incredibly grateful and humbled, and I will leave the 95 main points I'm going to make nailed to the door on the way out. Thank you. That's good. All right. Hi, I am so happy to be here. So as was mentioned, I do a lot of different things in my life. And what I wanted to share is that a lot of them are tied together by improv. It is the art form that I got into all the way back in high school. I started the improv theater company in Gustavus Adolphus College, where I went. It is something that has informed all the different things I do, from the Theater of Public Policy to the Westminster Town Hall Forum. I will make a very short plug for Westminster Forum. Folks, I imagine some folks have come to the Westminster Forum before. So with that, part of what I love about improv is it's an art of storytelling and an art of building something together that no one person can build by themselves. And we have a town hall forum this Thursday that is, I think, a wonderful embodiment of that. We have Michelle Norris, the award-winning journalist who actually grew up literally blocks from here in Minneapolis, and she's been doing a project for 14 years called the Race Card Project, where she invites people to submit their story of race in 6 words, and they are really remarkable in their breadth, in their depth, in their candor. And she admits when she started this project asking people to send their stories in, she didn't know whether anybody would actually want to do this, right? Imagine walking into a space and saying, I want everyone to basically do poetry about race. It's a very intimidating thing. And yet she's collected now more than 500,000 of these stories from people all over the country. And they've been put together, a lot of them, in this new book that she just has out called Our Hidden Conversations: What Americans Really Think About Race and Identity. And this is what she's going to talk about at the Town Hall Forum this Thursday evening, February 1st. And in addition to that, we're going to have this team of amazing readers from the community who are going to come together, and they're going to take turns reading some of these actual stories that have been submitted. And so we have folks who are going to be reading, including Roxanne Battle, Shaletta Brundage, Carrie Miller, R.T. Ryback, Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and really bringing that cornucopia of different stories from all different walks of life to the stage to help us all sort of hear what it is that people talk about when they are talking about their own race and identity and what that means. Now, I'll be doing the interview with Michelle following that, and all of that coming together, again, to me, is something that I feel like is only possible for myself, at least, because I have this background, this philosophy, this mindset that comes out of improv. Improv, this art where two or more people get up on stage without any pre-planning or script, and they're able to build something together that no one person would have built by themselves. And to me, that's really beautiful. That's actually a lot of, I believe, what is in this book that Michelle is going to be talking about, how we come together as a community, as a society, and build something, again, on sometimes something that's very challenging and hard, but something that is a coming together of a lot of different ideas and people and points of view. And how do we do that? How do we actually make that possible? Again, in the lessons and the gospel that you'll hear today, there's a lot of things that come at people that you will hear about that are unexpected and challenging and throw them for a loop. And what do they do with it? What do any of us do with something when we aren't expecting it, and it's challenging and it's hard and it isn't part of the plan that we had ahead of time? That's what improv is for. And that's why I think that improv is this amazing tool, whether it's for people who work in civic life, in faith life, in just working with other people, as a way to sort of view how we interact with each other and the tools that we use to build community with one another. And so, in order to try and demonstrate this, it's much better if I demonstrate this than actually try and just explain to you all. I was going to ask you all to do a little bit of improv together with each other. Now, I don't know. This went okay. I made this joke, and it seemed true that it seems like you all are Catholics, like this will work out pretty well. I said, like, if I tried to do this in, like, a Presbyterian church, everyone would march for the doors, like, instantly and been like, coffee hour starts early. So I think that this is going to work. So if everybody could get up and find a partner, or if you need to, you can do a group of 3. Here's the challenge. If you can, make a partner with somebody that you didn't come here with, right? Like, try and find somebody new to partner up. And stand up for it, like, so that we really kind of get a little bit of shout. As you're able, stand and, like, find somebody with you, okay? Here's how this is going to work. We're going to do 3 beats of this, so follow along with me. So what I need is, first, we're going to have you and your partner. I need you to say to your partner something that you think that we all could just go out and do together when we are done with church today. So after we're done with church and maybe coffee hour, just some idea of what we should do afterwards. Can somebody just as an example, like, shout out like an example? Chanting. We should do chanting. Here's what that's, sure. You've been wanting to get that in for a long time. Okay, so here's what's going to happen, though, is your partner is going to suggest something you should do, and what I need you to do is I need you to say, no, we should not do that, because chanting's weird. I don't know, whatever you want to say, because I can't carry a chant. But you come up with your own thing. Ready? So some novel idea what you should do, and then just respond with, no, we shouldn't do that because. Okay? Pretty simple. Ready, set, go. Thank you. Round 2. This time, a new idea. Somebody suggest a new idea of something that you think we should all do when we're done here today. Somebody give me a new idea. Ice skating. We should go ice skating. But this time you will respond with yes, but. So yes, we should go ice skating, but it's actually the water is maybe not as frozen as it should be. So maybe we just do something else. All right, so this time say yes, but, and then I'll circle us back for round 3. So ready, set, go. All right, one more. So this time, new idea. Somebody's going to shout out something brand new in your group or your pair. And this time, as was maybe alluded to at the very top, you are all going to say yes and to that idea. So somebody just quickly. We should all do dodgeball. Yes, and we should just move all the chairs and we'll all play a giant game of dodgeball here together. All right, so yes, and for you and your partner. Yes, and. You have to say A-N-D. Ready, set, go. Here is why I love yes, and. Yes, and, as was alluded to, is both a literal tool that we use in improv in order to make a scene happen. Like, it's the only way you can respond in an improv scene that makes sense, that your scene partner gives you something. And think about how different these iterations of what we just did were, right? I like to say, and I think this is true, that we live in a world too often of no becauses, right? Like, you want to do this thing or you have this idea? No, that's not going to work. Like, it's too hard. It's not enough. Or, that sounds bad somehow. In the yes, but, right, like, is usually kind of like a middle ground. Or sometimes I say yes, but is actually the Minnesota no. Right? It's, yes, that's a great idea, but let's not do it. Yes, and is this amazing pair of words that when they come together is so powerful because you are not only agreeing with the person who has brought something to you, you are now invested in what they have offered. You are saying, yes, I hear you, and I am contributing something to it, which means that I'm a part of what you have offered now. And if you say yes and back to me, now we're building something together that is necessarily going to be more and bigger and more beautiful than either one of us would have come up with each other. Now, I completely admit and understand that this is not always easy, that a lot of things come to us in our lives that are hard to say yes and to. And we're not ever going to get to a place where everything comes at us and we're able to say yes and. And yet, considering where we are and the spirit of why we gather in a place like this, I encourage you, I implore you to think about how much more space we have to live our lives in a yes and way, to take what comes at us, whether it is good, whether it is challenging, whether it is completely unexpected and throws us for a total loop, and say, yes, I see that, and I am ready to engage and think about how to be a part of that. That is a powerful place to be as an individual, and it is exactly what builds us together into a community, into a society, into a group of people who can do amazing, wonderful things together. So with that, I will say thank you all so much for being here with me and letting me have this little bit of time. I am so grateful. And again, please, just even for today, try as much as possible. Say yes and to each other. Thank you all so much.